One of your kids.
Graduated.
Your daughter graduated from college.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
That's a big enough
Yeah,
event.
you were there.
I was there.
Okay, and anyway, and then so that money though goes to your grant, you know.
So,
grant
tell me how many radios I have.
donations, you know, and helps us do what we do. Yeah, we don't explain that very
I
well.
thought that I had to explain.
And some of the other comes back.
The time is 4:30 p.m. The Pelican Rapids City Council meeting of 30 January 2024 is called to order. I'd ask those in our council chambers, if you have not signed the clipboard by the back door, if you'd please do so before you leave this evening. And I'd ask everybody to please put their cell phones on vibrate. Roll call of members. Danielle?
Councilmember Steve Strand.
Here.
Councilmember Kevin Ballard.
Here.
Councilmember Kurt Markgraf.
Here.
Councilmember Steve Foster.
Here.
And Mayor Brent Frazier.
Here, I want to welcome each and every one of you here in our council chambers this afternoon, also those joining us by Zoom. Remember, our city council meetings are on our Pelican Rapids YouTube channel and also seen on Channel 14 on Wednesday evening. I just have a couple announcements for the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow, Wednesday, January 31st, 10 to 11 at Historic City Hall is Conversations with the Mayor, and our next city council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 13th, 4:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Hearing none, if you'll all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 2 is citizens' comments. Anybody here in the council chamber for citizens' comments this evening? Anyone? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 3 is additions and deletions to the agenda. And I have some, so councilman, get your pens ready. Item number 4G is a Pelican Pinnum Club gambling permit. Pelican Pinnum Club gambling permit. That goes on the consent agenda, item number 4G. And item number 5 is Sharon Park request Pelican Fest and Car Show committees also add Friendship Festival. So it'll be Pelican Fest, Car Show Committee, and Pelican Friendship Festival. And then item number 19 is EDA updates, Economic Development Authority updates, EDA updates. There's 3 bullet points. I'll read them. First one is Small Business Development Center donation of $500. Small Business Development Center donation, $500. The second bullet point is February 8th, 2024, EDA event expenses approval. February 8th, 2024, EDA event expenses approval. And the third bullet point is EDA meetings expenses /$600 a year. EDA meetings expenses /$600 a year. Any other additions or deletions?
I'll move the agenda with his addition.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 4 was approval of consent agenda, which I'll read. Item 4A is approval of council minutes of January 13th, 2024. Item 4B is approval of accounts payable listing. Item 4C1 is utilities report from December 2023 and January 2024. Item 4C is liquor store report. Item 4D is Pelican Rapids Ducks Unlimited gambling permit VFW Post 5252 on March 22nd, 2024. Item 4E is on sale intoxicating liquor license and Sunday on sale to Adrian Chavez as property for Taqueria Chavez LLC. Item 4F is certified to property taxes, property located at 31 Northeast 2nd Avenue, sewer at $400 a year until paid in full, and the total amount is $11,542.18. And item 4G is Pelican Pinnum Club gambling permit, VFW Post 5252 on April 17th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion? Discussion?
That certified property taxes, that's going to go for what, 25 years?
I'll have to turn that, Danielle, you want to address that?
Yes, years ago, it was set by a previous council to only assess $400 a year. I do think that we need to look at increasing that because expenses have gone up substantially.
And this wasn't for you sewer expense, it was construction, right? Repair?
It was a repair, yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't just a sewer bill, monthly bill? It was
No,
construction.
correct.
Any other questions?
Well, that's going to have an effect if they decide to sell the house.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could. It'll show up on their, I would guess that they'll have to disclose it to a new owner, and they would have to negotiate at that time.
Okay.
Any other questions?
How long has that been?
How
long?
When did this take place? When, the construction, you know what month it was?
It was just, I have the bill.
Are we talking a year?
November, maybe. We just got the bill in December, so.
November 2023.
So we approved that, the 400? Did we?
It was a previous council that set that number. Many, way before you, way before me.
Before Kevin and I.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's fine. I don't understand, but that's fine. As long as you get to.
Any more questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 5 is we have a Sharon Park request. We have, first of all, Pelican Fest. Someone here to represent Pelican Fest.
Hi, Councilman Lana Grufstrud and Caitlin, representing Pelican Fest. We are here to ask for, I guess, somewhat of a donation to Pelican Fest. To my understanding, we need to rent out Sharon Park if we're going to hold any activities in that park for the festivities, correct? Like, so there's no campers and whatnot. So we have events going on in Sharon Park for Friday. Cars in the Park have their event on Saturday. I forget the dates, July 11th and 12th, somewhere in there. Would you guys be willing, as a city, to do like a buy one, get one rental on those 2 nights for us? So we can get kind of for half the cost. And then in doing so, the city would be recognized as being a sponsor of the event.
It's the night of the 12th and the day of the 13th,
Okay.
Friday
night and Saturday.
Say again?
The night of the 12th and the day of the 13th. So Friday night and all of Saturday.
Similar to what we've done for the Friendship Festival?
I don't think we've made donations to the fund.
Yeah, we've never donated before.
Well, no, not donated, we forgave, or,
We've charged them for them.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we did,
Yeah.
okay, excuse me.
Lana, can I help for a second?
Sure.
How many sites are in the campground? 11?
Hi, Dina Johnson. I'm actually here for Friendship Festival, but since I've done this before, I think what they're asking is, so the car show and Pelican Fest has something going on Friday night, the 12th,
The Friday day.
and Friday day,
Yep.
okay? And then the car show is on Saturday. I thought there was going to be a representative here.
They were going to, Houston couldn't make it, and Dan had a root canal, so that was a little bit more important.
Okay, so long story short, what my understanding of what they're asking is, instead of having to be charged for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, they want a 2-for-1. They want to just pay one rate, like the 1-day rate for both days.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
So you're talking Friday at what time?
No later than noon. They can be out by noon,
And then Saturday,
all day.
like all night, or like
Well, what time does the
5?
car show usually get done?
5, I think.
5, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think that's, I mean, that's pretty standard, isn't it? I mean, I think we usually have people come in after the car show. So I think we can work with that.
Can I ask a question? Did the two entities combine, or,
No,
okay.
They
no.
were supposed to be another representative, one for the car show.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
They're root canaling.
No, I am.
Yeah.
So you're planning to have more festivities in Sharon Park than Peterson Park?
Well,
As far as
yes,
investment.
like last year, the tractor show was in Veterans Park, but with the farmer's market getting moved there this year, there's no way that Veterans Park can hold farmer's market and tractor show and other events going on. So we're gonna move the tractor show to Sharon Park
On Friday?
on Friday.
Council?
Doesn't sound like there's a problem then, right? So I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same, motion carried.
So Danielle, could you send me an invoice for the one night and and then we'll pay you from the Pelican Fest? Okay.
Do we have anybody scheduled for those dates yet?
For what?
No, we've tentatively penciled them in, but we are receiving calls.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My
We
sec-
haven't had any calls for those dates.
Okay, that's good. My second question, and it has to do with Pelican Fest. We're considering hosting some sort of like a goat yoga, which I know you guys are probably like, what? Do we need any sort of permits to have animals in town on something like that? I mean, it'd be no different than having like a petting zoo or something like that. I don't know if there's any special permits that we need from the city.
No, I think there was a petting zoo that was going to come for Friendship Festival last year, wasn't there, or something? And
Yes.
there
So
was-
that's okay.
I looked into, there was nothing
Okay.
that we needed to do, I don't think, so.
Okay. Just trying to check my boxes, make sure we don't come
As
into
long
problems.
as, yeah.
They won't be on Main Street, so it's okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Want to speak for Pelican?
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, then I'm going to continue. For Friendship Festival, Friendship Festival is June 15th. We are coming with the requests that we have, that we're able to rent out Sharon Park. I would actually also piggyback on their request, and I know they have kind of a different situation, the car show and Pelican Fest, but I would actually entertain, be very, very gracious if we could get our rental for half off. You know, just, it's going to be a tough year for us. I don't know how many people we're going to be getting in. We don't make money at it. It's mostly a grant funded program. But I figured, well, if I, ask, if I don't ask, I can't get it. So I'm asking for half off of that rental rate. But either way, whichever you decide, I would like that date to reserve that park.
Danielle, what would that amount should be, half of?
Her and I can work that out. I can't,
Yeah,
$210.
Yeah.
11.
For all of them?
So,
Okay, 105, 105.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve, second.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion.
When is the friendship again?
June 15th,
When is Pelican Fest and the car show?
July,
11, 12, and 13.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you, Dina.
I appreciate it. I just kind of dawned on me, we've never really asked, Rotary Turkey Barbecue. It's always assumed that we're going to do it in Peterson Park. Have we ever requested that we? Because we don't have we don't have reservations or anything for that park. Just wanted
I don't think they've ever
to,
requed it.
Okay, well-
For the event.
I don't think, if it needs approval, I'm here. So, Rotary Turkey Barbecue will be July 13th, as, right now, as planned, so, or as it's always been, so. Just for either information, or if you want to approve it, great, however you guys want to work it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dina. Okay, item number 6 is the dam removal pay request number 7 for Houston Engineering, and there's 4 bullet points I will read. The first one is $1,881 pedestrian bridge from Houston Engineering. Second one is $8,953.55 dam removal Houston Engineering. Third one is $136,318.70 dam removal Rachel Contracting. And the fourth one is $22,722.06 pedestrian bridge Rachel Contracting. I believe, Lance, you're going to speak to this?
Yes, so this is the final pay request. This will close out the dam project, river restoration project. Just for your reference on this, there is one number that's wrong on this. I'll just go to the page here real quick just to show you. So basically, everything on this request will get refunded between the 2 DNR grants. But that $136,318, that amount is from right here, so that's the whole total of the actual river restoration. We just left out the number over here, this $2,601.17 over here. That got left out of these numbers on the actual agenda, which that is the storm drain that was fixed, so that was actually our cost. That's just the retainage there. So I don't know if there's any other kind of questions. I know we have Wes Keller on the line right now as well. Wes, Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. First of all, I just want to say thanks to Houston Engineering and Wes. This project really went well, and they were very helpful, and they gave us a lot of exposure in even the tri-state area on this project. They were very helpful, and it went smooth, and so thank you, Wes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you to all the council members, the city staff, and all the public there for the support, and we are happy to be a part of the project. So,
Any kind of questions for Wes, what we got?
Any questions for Wes? I guess not. Lance, you're looking for one motion or 2 motions?
I think what we've
4
done in the
motions?
past is just the one for everything is fine? All right, that's fine with me.
Okay.
One to pass everything, yep.
yeah, just to, I guess, as far as the actual official pay request to Rachel, will be that that $161,641.93, and that's the official payment going to Rachel, which includes all the retainage that was held. That's why you're seeing the three different breakdowns there between the DNR, the bridge portion, and the city portion there. So.
Council?
So the 161,641 is the total of all these payments then?
No, it's the total of the 136,318.70, the dam removal. That's just Rachel, so the two Rachel ones, and then we just missed that little storm on the column there. So if you added that 136,318.70 and the 22,722.06, and then the 2,601.17 cents, that will give you that 161,641.93. And then the other two are just the Houston bills, which are broken down into the pedestrian bridge and then the actual river restoration.
Okay, I'll move, we make a final payment of 161,641.93 to Rachel Contracting, and then the two payments to Houston Engineering.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Again, thank you, Wes, for your fine work.
All right, thank you. Have a great night.
Item number 7 is approve hire of Officer E. Prey upon processing a background check. We have our Chief of Police, Todd Quaintance, here with us this evening to make that presentation. Chief?
I am just asking the council, we had an interview the other day. We've made a conditional offer to Eric Prey, asking the council to approve the hire upon his successful completion of all pre-employment conditions. It's not just the background, it's a psych eval and endurance testing, things like that. So once we have all pre-employment conditions satisfied, we'd like to start with the employment.
Does he have a background, or is he starting at step 1, or?
He has a background, a brief background in civilian law enforcement, some military, but we've offered at step 1.
I move to approve.
Motion second. Discussion? Discussion? Do you know how soon that could be if everything goes on track? Approximate.
I'm hoping within a month.
Okay.
I mean, we could be as soon as 2-3 weeks, but
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
hoping for a month, so.
Any more discussion?
Where does that put you for your department?
That will put us at full staff according to this year's budget.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Chief. Let's go to item number 8, Fire Department request. We have Shad Hansen here, and there was a request in our packet this evening. Shad?
All right. I'm here asking for money to get security cameras at the fire hall. So, you got any questions for me on it, or?
This wasn't in the budget.
It's not in the budget.
That's why you're here, yeah.
So you have cameras down there now, or that you had them and they'd stopped working, correct? Is that?
Correct. Yeah, we only had a few cameras down there, and yeah, it just doesn't work anymore.
So Chad, what's the concern? I mean, Does stuff happen, or?
No, it's just that you house over $3 million worth of equipment down there. So, it's a locked facility, but a door could stick open, door could stay open. The garage doors are open when we leave on a call, if somebody doesn't shut them. Yeah.
So you don't want to use a Ring camera then, huh?
If you guys want to trust that, I guess.
What happened to the cameras that were there?
The DVR just quit working.
That's
So,
not uncommon.
yeah.
They have
And it
lots of
was a Costco system that got put in.
Were they original equipment when the firehouse was built, or?
No, they got put in, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
And they don't cover every exit. I think it's the very front door onto the app floor, the door going into, or I shouldn't even say, kind of the work area on the back. And then there's one in the hallway covering the 2 bathrooms and that front door coming in. There's nothing on the south side, nothing on the west side on any of the exits.
That's the old cameras, or that's the new cameras?
That's the old cameras that are up right now, and there's only 3. The new camera system, there would be 9 cameras, every exterior door, and 2 on the app floor, 1 in the radio room, and 1 in the back workroom.
Where's the data stored?
It would be stored in the office.
On an NVR, just like this system
It'd
they
be
have
a-
here, and we have at the shop.
Yep.
In the airport.
You don't want it in the facility, though. Because they'll take that with them.
Ours are all exterior at the shop, so they're not getting into the system, into the building.
Seems like that should be online, but, okay.
The office is I guess a secured office. It's a different key. The only ones with a key in there would be myself and the assistant chief.
So we have, how would we pay for this?
Well, what we were thinking is we would just pay for it if there's any extra capital, and if there isn't, at the end of the year, we'll evaluate, and if there isn't, we'll take it out of the public safety grant that we got at the end of last year.
And so there's enough to cover that.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Is there a monthly fee? No.
How big a NVR is it, like a couple terabyte or, at all? I mean, how much storage? That's not, if it's a 9-camera system, that's not a real big bill.
There's a 16 channel.
How much memory though?
It's, I'm not a tech guy, I guess, but it's a 6 TB.
Doesn't matter, the price isn't huge for that. This isn't a Costco system again, is it?
No.
I didn't see
S&S Security Center.
Okay.
Harbor Freight.
I shouldn't say Costco system, they have a lot of systems that. But yeah, no, I didn't see who the estimate provider was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good price.
Okay.
I move to approve the $65.70 for the cameras for the fire department.
Second.
Motion second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Let's jump down to item number 19, EDA update, and we have Jordan Grossman here with us this evening. And Jordan, there's 3 different bullet points, and you can cover each one of those.
Good evening. So we're going to do one motion after we do an overview instead of one every time. It probably makes things a lot easier for Danielle. So we had our EDA meeting for January. During our meeting, we received our new banner behind you, which we got for a great deal from one of our EDA board members. That will go to the Red River Valley Home and Garden Show with us. My three quick things tonight is looking for a donation contribution to the Small Business Development Center. There's a lot of acronyms in economic development. They are funded through the SBA as well as the Department of Employment and Economic Development through the state, but the rest of their funding comes from donations and fundraising throughout the year. I plan to encourage the EDA board to have them in town more frequently through road construction, and this is a suggested donation for one workshop. They've already been in the community with a separate agency once, and then we're hoping to have them here in February. So a small donation of $500 that would come out of EDA funds to them. We have that event scheduled for February 8th of '24. You have a little pamphlet on your desk. I just wrote up a quick little graphic on it if you want to share it with everybody. The director of the SBDC will be here to provide the services that their agency offers. I've encouraged small business owners and the entrepreneurs that are within the community and community members to come to the event. It'll just be a quick presentation, probably a half hour, 45 minutes on the services they can provide at no cost to business owners in town. With that, hoping to purchase some food and beverage for people who come. I don't have a definite number, but I set registration at 25, and I think we're up to 20 right now. So nothing crazy, but would like some approval to purchase some food and beverages there. And then we've had our EDA meeting locations switched now that we're having them on a monthly basis to businesses within the community so they can see the new revitalized EDA board as well as learn about the incentives and promotions that the EDA can offer them as business owners. They're not always at businesses in town. Sometimes we have to have meetings here for Zoom capabilities. But while we are out at businesses, we're taking up a 8 to 10 person table for over an hour. And I think it would be appropriate to be able to make it worthwhile to the business owner. So thought maybe a $600 annually budget there to be able to give back to the business for letting us have our meeting there would be appropriate as well. So I would just be looking for a motion to approve EDA activities.
And that's all out of EDA funds, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I'll move we approve all these requests.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Danielle, you will advertise this as a possible quorum for
Yep.
council members?
Will do.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other updates?
No, I'll just stay here for the next item.
Yeah, okay. Okay, item number 9 is Historic City Hall update, and Lance is going to address that. At the last council meeting, there was a request from council, how many visitors frequent Historic City Hall during the summer months, and Lance, take it away.
Okay, so I did talk to Nick Leonard several times about this. He did find 2022 numbers. He did not find any kind of 2023 numbers, but he said when he talked to the workers and things that they feel these numbers would be very similar as the 2023 would be. So I just kind of laid them out here. Those are the visitors per month. Total for that 2022 year was 702, so that average would be about 117 a month or five a day. And that really comes down to actually a little bit less than one person an hour for what we're doing there. Just another thing on Historic City Hall, so we did open it up more for meetings and things, and it did get used quite often actually this last fall and late summer. So just keep that in mind if we're, like when we're addressing whether or not you want to do a business or something in there. We'll have to find another place for meetings maybe, and we can utilize this area, council chambers more or other, because the library can't hold as many meetings that are needed in the community, so just keep that in mind. There are some statistics here on how many meetings and stuff were there. There was some Christmas parties and things that happened there and things like that, so. Otherwise, I did talk to Explore Minnesota as well. That's the contract we have with them. If you were to open it up to a business and they did not continue that tourist information type part of the Historic City Hall, we could actually move that up to City Hall here, and we could display their pamphlets and things that they give us. We could do it right out here. We could kind of clean this area up out here and get it updated, and we could do it right here if needed, so.
And we'd still be a member then?
Yep. So I'll kind of open it up to a discussion, and I know there's others in the audience that would like to address this, so. Martin?
Last council meeting, there was a motion and a second to go ahead and lease the space out. The main floor at least. I tentatively thought I was going to show you a lease agreement that I had come up with. After talking to more community members and interested parties, I think the best way to go about advertising the space being open for lease is as simple as that. I'd like to put an RFP in the paper, run it for 30 or 60 days, contingent on whichever you'd prefer, and let anybody who is interested know that the space is open for lease and to send in their business proposals to my office. From there, the process would be I would collect them and then utilize the subcommittees of the city, so it would go through the EDA board, and then they could view what I've received and then give you a recommendation upon that. When I'm asking for proposals from the community, things that would be included is their tentative rent that they think would be appropriate. It's hard to do a comp analysis on that building because there isn't really a similar agency in town or a building that operates that way. What building needs they would need, as well as their business plan. And I would like to do that sooner than later. So as long as I get something to the press before Monday at noon, it could run as early as next week.
And I'll emphasize one thing we really need to know tonight is whether or not you want to utilize Otter Tail Lakes Country for staffing that or not, because they'll want to know. I mean, we need to let them know whether we're going to continue with them or not, so.
Council?
I guess I had a business owner call me, and his concern was, his only concern, he liked the idea of something going in there other than its current use, but his only concern was that those are the bathrooms, those are the public restrooms for downtown, so. And, I mean, I can't, if I owned a business downtown, I wouldn't, want it advertised that that's the, public bathroom. So I guess we would have to figure out whether it be additional porta potties or handicap accessible porta potty type facilities in the park or somewhere. But that was the concern that was brought to me, was those being the public restrooms for the downtown.
Well, that could be part of the lease agreement also.
But if you owned a business, if you owned a coffee shop, would you want people coming in?
Going into it, they would sign off on it, so they know.
Yeah, but
Which isn't anything that I think we would put out there. I think it would just be as simple as, this is open for lease, send in your business proposal plus the 2 other things. I think holding contingencies on somebody might make it more difficult to receive competitive proposals.
I know there was a potential business that did look at it last week. That's all I can say at this point, but there was interest.
So I think you should go ahead with it and get this thing moving here, so.
That's your motion?
Well, if you want a motion,
Yeah,
I'll make
yep,
a motion.
yep.
Let's move ahead with this.
Yep. Second. Motion second. Discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Thank you.
I guess that would give you the answer for,
Is that enough to, I mean, discontinue the contract with Otter Tail Lakes Country Association for staffing Historic City Hall?
When do we have to answer them?
Yesterday.
Sooner the better, yeah, because they would be advertising for that position, and they would need to start advertising now, and it would be a challenge. They want to find someone local to staff it, and so.
we've already basically made the decision by passing the last.
Well, we've made the decision to go ahead, but really nothing has happened. If we don't get somebody into the building, it would still be open to Lakes Country.
Yeah, but the contract is for the summer, right? I mean, we can't.
We're in a contract right now with them. We would need to nullify that we'd have to give them written notice that we want to be out. And it says right in there, it's like a 90-day notice that we're giving them, and we'd be out of it. I mean, it's no.
So by going forward with the contract, we're in for 90 days minimum, right? Which would put us, well.
No, I mean, we're in the contract right now. If we
Right.
give them notice, then, I mean, they understand. They have a heads up, they know what's going on, but they need an answer. If we want to continue with them, we need to, basically now we need to tell them that we want to continue.
What's the cost?
$24,000 a year.
How much do they pay their person that works in there?
I'm not sure about that. It's not the $32, $33 an hour that that's basically what we're paying for the hours that we're getting. That's what we're paying.
If it took over the summer to get the right business in there, I think that you could look at other ways to keep it open with your existing payroll cost and your existing cost with my contract. I think that there's a multitude of other ways to not have to spend $24,000 to staff it this summer and have it be open if it needs, if it's going to sit there empty, because leasing it out might take a little bit longer. So I'll sit there.
We know with highway construction this summer, those numbers
Not
are
gonna
going
be-
to
not
shrink
gonna be
drastically.
foot traffic, yeah, it's not gonna be them kind of numbers.
So this year, is it even worth having anybody there?
I move that we discontinue the contract with
Second.
whoever that is.
Otter Tail Lakes Country Association.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 years before we could bounce back to
Yeah.
those numbers anyway.
Motion second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Anything else on that topic? Joe.
A question for Jordan. What kind of interest have you had for the building so far?
I have had a high level of communication with multiple parties. Some are existing entrepreneurs in our town who have a cottage food license, and they're currently doing pop-ups or selling items out of their home, as well as people who don't have that in place but could have some funding in place already. People as young as 20 and all the way up to 60. So there's been a mass amount of interest. And I think us advertising this will be able to get the ball rolling, and I can see where people's ability lines up with their interests to be able to get this going. But it's
Okay.
been a very positive community support so far.
Thank you. Mr. Clausen, I saw you there somewhere.
Joe Clausen with the Chamber. I was here last month, and the request was if there is going to be staffing at Historic City Hall, that the Chamber of Commerce would staff that as opposed to Otter Tail Lakes Country. So that was the proposal that we threw out. One thing that I would like to put into that is that that person could be dedicated to do things here in the city. You know, and I think that's probably the vast difference between what you do with Otter Tail Lakes Country. They have someone sit there and basically keep the door open, as opposed to, I think, if we were to do it as a chamber, we would be able to utilize those hours to promote the city. And so I think that there could be almost like a whole nother description written for what would happen there, as opposed to basically just kind of keeping the door open. If Jordan has someone who can rent it, how that would work in a similar space, I'm not sure, but I'm just referring that this is still out there and available to the city through the chamber as opposed to Otter Tail Lakes Country. So I don't know exactly where you want to go with that. I know that there's been a motion made to go forward, and what the best use of that space is, I'm not sure yet. So I don't necessarily have a proposal, other than there was a proposal made 2 weeks ago that was tabled. So I don't know if that needs to be brought up and completed, or where you want to go with that.
Well, I think at this point, we're looking at kind of using that as a business location or an incubator or something like that, so that's kind of off the table right now, what you're asking as far as I can see, but things change, so.
Okay.
Excuse me, whatever does happen with Explore Minnesota, we can move that up here.
Yeah, that's an option, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But there could be a business interested that it could actually function as a
Yeah.
tourist information center as well.
Right,
I don't-
right.
I mean, that's another option too, so I don't.
Depending on the space requirements. Yep.
Drive potentially 700 people into their business a year.
Yeah, that's
Sharing
true,
the space.
yeah. Any other discussion by the council?
All right. So that's off the table then at this point in time.
Right, I would say so, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, item number 10 was Highway 59 108 assessments, and we had Bob Schliemann down from Apex Engineering, but Bob could not be here this evening, so Lance is filling in for him with some information and possible work session date. Lance?
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys kind of looked through what Bob had in the packet here or not. I guess we can either try and go through some of this stuff right now, or what we were, Danielle and I and Brian all met with Bob and kind of went through some things. And even then, we were talking, well, maybe we need a work session with the council, with Bob, just to kind of go through all the details. He's very much better at explaining all this than I would be. And it is a lot, so would we want to just try and set up a work session?
I think that
Bob?
would, yeah, I think that would be the best scenario.
Okay.
Councilman?
It would have to be in the next couple weeks, because we're going to need to set a public hearing here, and there's a definite time frame we got to get in for the bonding, or for for our payment to the state and things, so.
We need Bob's availability, don't we? Or do we
Well,
want-
yeah, I talked to him a bit today. He said he gave me 3 dates where he's not available, which are Monday, February 5th, and then Tuesday, February 13th, and Wednesday, February 14th. But if we were looking at next week, I mean, we could do Tuesday or Wednesday, the way it looks. He was kind of anticipating you'd want to do it later in the afternoon, but it's up to you guys, I guess. We'd have to post it too, so
Yeah. I'll be gone all the next week, although if I'm not there, I guess it doesn't matter, so.
I'll be gone, mostly.
there's another option where we could do it like a budget committee, where we could do it as a committee, maybe pick 2 people off the council and could meet with Bob and us and go through it, and then kind of report back to the council as well. It all depends on what you guys want.
Can't we just talk about it at the first meeting of February?
It'll be too late by then.
No, we could do it at the next meeting if.
That'd be the 5th, right?
13th.
13th.
Oh, he's not on, yeah, he's not available on the 13th, sorry.
13th.
So what's the last possible date we could meet for a work session?
Well, that's the next thing, is we need to hold the public hearing. And that, we're thinking, so that's the resolution that was printed and put in
Right.
front of you. So we're thinking of February 26th, the evening of February 26th. And this affects the numbers that we're going to present there, so we should be getting MnDOT numbers hopefully by late next week, or later this week maybe even, so they can start working on that. But just the decisions you guys have to make on how we're doing these things will affect those numbers and what we're presenting at the public hearing, so.
What about the 12th, the day before our regular meeting? Does that work for you guys?
That would work.
Okay.
That's the night before. He can't be here on the 13th, so if we could knock it out the night before our meeting, we
Yeah, we
could
could have it.
approve everything or
Yeah.
whatever.
That work, gentlemen?
Afternoon.
February 12th? What time?
Regular meeting time of 4:30 would allow me to have all my vehicles break down and get everybody back on the road.
4:30 on the 12th?
Okay.
It work for everyone?
Yep.
Okay. 4:30, February 12th?
All right, I'll confirm that with Bob tomorrow and send
Okay,
you a
yeah,
confirmation on that. So on that note, that's the.
Lance, do you want to shoot us an email as soon as you find out
Yep.
for sure?
I will do that. So the resolution that was printed out and put in front of you, that is the one that we would need for the public hearing date, and we would need to have a quorum at that public hearing, so that's February 26th at 5:30 at the high school auditorium.
What goes there? Can you repeat that?
Monday, it's Monday, right? Monday, February
Monday.
26th at 5:30 at the high school auditorium.
February 26th.
25?
26th, right?
Oh, 26, yes, excuse me.
Here's my copy.
And Bob will facilitate that meeting?
Yeah, I mean, technically it has to be a council-led, but Bob does everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just need approval of that resolution if everyone's good with that date and time.
Someone willing to make a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carried. Thank you. Item number 11, Second Avenue Southeast drainage improvements. This is a topic we talked about a few times in the past. It's up by Pelican Pete's towing auto body. And Lance, you want to lead that discussion also, please?
Yeah. So Apex has done the design work. Probably hard to see, it's in your packet here, but basically what we talked about, putting in 2 catch basins there, and then running that drainage line down into the low area down back behind their house, the outfall down into the slough there. Basically what Bob needs tonight is just basically a motion authorizing the advertising for bids for this project. You can see the timeline there in his agenda. Tonight, obtain that authorization to advertise for bids. We would advertise for bids that week of February 5th through the February 26th, and then open bids the week of March 4th, and then they award the construction contract on the 12th, so. So he just needs the authorization, the motion to authorize to advertise for bids for this project.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 12 is in-control automation and cybersecurity service plan proposal, which was in your packet, and that cost was $7,464. Lance?
Okay, so this was the big update for the cybersecurity and service plan for the wastewater plant and the water plant. So it was budgeted for what the information we had at that time. It was budgeted for $6,038. It came back now at $7,464, so I reached out to this Jeff Iverson about this. And because they were finishing up this project now, you can see that the effective date was back in November. So normally, I wanted to make sure that he knew that we needed these numbers in the fall so we can be budgeting for him and things like that. Well, this was kind of a special situation when they were doing this big upgrade. So going forward, they'll definitely have these numbers so we can get the right number in the budget. But the increase is basically due to an added firewall. So the original proposal was just for one firewall, and they figured out that the water plant didn't have one at all, so they had to add it, and that's part of why this has been increased. And basically, this is just, the proposal is for the maintenance plan, doing the necessary updates. It includes all the annual subscriptions and the WatchGuard and the firewall monitoring. So that's why it was increased, and instead of just monitoring the one firewall, now they have to do 2. Does the regular security updates. We have access to their tech support team. It's the around-the-clock monitoring for the SCADA system. So any questions?
I checked out for a second. What did you say was the budgeted amount that we had for it?
We budgeted, the number that we had in their original proposal was $6,038. So that's what's in the budget. And then now the number is $7,464. Difference of $1,426. That gets split evenly between water and wastewater.
I'll move to approve it.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 13, Pelican Rapids Aquatic Center deed grant agreement, which was in your packet. Lance.
Okay, this is what we've been waiting for the pool. State bonding money. This is the agreement we need to have in place in order to get that 1.5 million that they appropriated us for the pool project. So the city attorney went through this. We found just a couple things which they changed. We just added the PO box to our address, things like that. She also drafted the declaration that we need. So this is the declaration that Lindsay drafted. And then it needs to be recorded. It's just basically saying that, you know, in that whole deed agreement, it's laying out that, you know, the pool has to stay a pool, public, it has to kind of serve its purpose that we're using the money for. What else? We just need to approve basically the grant agreement and then approve this declaration and have it recorded. So then we can get this sent in and then we'll be able to start getting reimbursed for the costs. The dates are backdated back to June, so we'll be able to send in a reimbursement for everything that's already happened, so.
I move to approve the grant agreement and the declaration for the public Pelican Rapids Aquatic Center.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. Kurt. Discussion. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 14 is downtown safety concern. Did Councilman Strand, was this something you wanted to talk to?
I think so, yeah. It was so slippery and hard-packed snow downtown. I go down there every day and like in front of rehab, and it's really tough for people to navigate that. I would like to have like a tractor and a scoop go down there and clear it off. Brian and I never agree on
Can I
this.
address this?
Yeah, I knew you would, so.
I knew you would.
Well, Steve,
Yeah.
I appreciate your concern a lot, but that was very minimal snow in reality, and it was very hard packed, and it was 20 below zero, so when you have those temperatures, you can spread all the sand and salt you want, and it won't do it. So as you can see, the day after you sent the email and it had warmed up, it was gone, and that was part of the plan. So there really isn't, when it's hard packed like that and 20 below zero, there's not much you can do with it. It's just going to make it slipperier. If you go out and shovel your driveway after those conditions, it gets slipperier, especially after we had the moisture that we had below it. So it is not something that we just didn't do or didn't have the equipment to do. It was timing. It was all it was. And I didn't honestly think it was that terrible bad down there. There's
Agile, but you know, when people go, they have to find a trail to go to the store they want to go to. And
right, but I'm not going to be rude to the business owners, but part of that, I mean, their responsibility to shovel out there so people can get to their business. The city shouldn't, we're taking care of the drift. You know what I mean? We're taking care of it when we come to move it, but we shouldn't have to open up to each business as we come down. That should be the business's responsibility, in my opinion.
it's mostly
just like-
on the street, though.
It's like mailboxes. You know, we don't go and clean everybody's mailbox. But even on the street, they're parked on it. How can we move it? How can we get rid of it when they're parked on it?
At night, like they used to in the old
Oh.
days, you know? Right.
We haven't had, so, do we have, it is the business's responsibility, right? Isn't that, don't we have an ordinance to?
To maintain their sidewalk,
Unless
yes.
it's-
Unless we get our
So, I
amount of
noticed
snow.
on that sidewalk by Rehab Plus that there was an area that was not shoveled by the business owner. or the building owner?
To the north?
Yeah.
Yes. Did they get letters sent? I mean, how is that dealt with? for
We,
those
we
that
have,
Do not maintain.
we have tried to send letters, and then by the time you get, you got to give them so many days, so many hours, usually it's melted. So then you're like, oh, so now you go down there and try to move it, and it's gone, so. But we have a couple areas like that in town that, I wish our ordinance would be a one strike per year, You get one letter, and then if it's not maintained, we do it and we charge you.
That's how it's run in Fargo.
Instead of having to send a letter on every occurrence, you can look at our weed policy, our long grass policy, same thing. I mean, I have a list a mile long of the same repetitive ones. If you get one strike, we just take care of it when it gets to that point again, and it would, I think, solve a lot of things. Might create more,
City of
but.
Fargo sends out an inspector, and they have door hangers if they don't get anybody at the residence. They sign, date, and time it, hang it on the door. 24 hours later, somebody's there moving the snow. If it isn't gone already, they're billed.
Really? I'm not sure what our policy says word for word, but.
Our policy would have to be changed if we ever
Right.
did that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So how do we go about starting that process of changing that?
I think sitting down with Lindsay and,
Yeah, going over, and it may be an ordinance thing. I'm not, we'd have
I
to
mean, we
look
talk
at.
about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
and we just push it
Well,
off to the
every
next meeting.
winter we talk about this. This year's been really good. Thanks, Steve. We've had a beautiful winter.
A lot we're talking about was solid ice for a long time. It's,
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
But the situation is, if we start removing in front of one business, we're gonna have to do everybody's.
Well, Brian will charge them.
If we set that
change.
ordinance,
Yeah.
so let's do that. Let's start looking at our ordinance and see what we can change there.
Yeah.
I
I
would,
can bring a copy from Fargo here and drop it off
Well,
as early as tomorrow. I handle them every day.
okay.
sounds great.
Because our downtown is fragile, I want everything we can do to keep it intact.
It'll look new next year, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all new next year. We're gonna have a whole new ball game next year with snow removal and stuff like that. It'll be a whole new learning curve, so,
Heated sidewalks and gutters.
yes.
Anything else?
I suppose it was less than 2 inches, right?
Right.
Was that part of it?
It doesn't, we got less than two, and pretty soon you have that much, but just in that area, where it's compacted, so. Thankfully, we got rid of it. It's ran. And it's good.
We'll have 6 feet of snow by Halloween next year, so.
Yeah, right?
Inch and a half at a time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we should raise our policy to 4 inches or something.
Anything else, Steve?
No, thanks,
Okay.
Brian. I just,
Okay.
Understand, thank you.
Item number 15 is a meter deposit discussion. We talked about this at the last council meeting, I believe. Was it the last council meeting? And city staff was going to get some information to us for this discussion this evening. Danielle, do you have that information?
I have the information that was requested,
Okay.
yes.
we don't though.
No. No, so, one of the questions was,
There were a bunch of them, Daniel.
yep, I'm just starting with one
Why
though.
can't you give us a copy of this?
Because I can email it to you. There's stuff that has to be redacted before I can print it. How many deposits are we holding that have a current name and address? There are 50 of them. How many deposits do we hold without name and address? And I'm assuming that means we don't know who paid them. That's 10 of them.
10?
Yep. How many deposits were lost in 2023 due to non-payment of the resident's water bill. Just one second. We're in the process of one now that was just shut off, so that one would be technically from 2023.
I mean, are there 2 or 10, or what are we talking here?
I'm just looking quick, there was, it doesn't look like there was, so we have one technically in 2023 that we had to apply their deposit to, and they're shut off right now too. And 2022, there was 2. Estimated office time to take the deposit, transfer to the bank, record the transaction. And office expense per hour when justifying the projects. It's minimal. It's just a click of a mouse to add it to an account, and that's it.
To tell me the click thing again?
It's just a click to add it to their account.
So what are we gonna do with the 10 that we don't know about?
Well, there's not a whole lot I can do. There, yeah, because they were just left from prior owners. And this is like one's from 2007. This one was from 2011, left from a prior owner. This one was from 2004, so I just have no idea. Our records don't, I don't have records going back that far.
Well, gentlemen, you know how I feel about this, so it's not worth their time. It's just, it's not necessary.
Do we want to talk to the operator of the trailer court?
He's talked to me, and I don't know what his concern would be. I mean, Danielle, explain how it would affect him.
So, for example, if there is a host in the trailer court that has not paid their water bill, and say, right now, if it's a $100 water bill, and we apply the $50 deposit to it, that's not a good example. He will be responsible for all the water bills that don't get paid if we don't have deposits on them.
What, $50, right?
Yeah, do you want us to charge more?
Well, I don't see what his issue is. I don't understand that.
Because right now he pays nothing.
Yeah, so he would have paid $50 last year? Is that correct?
For some of them are over 50.
We only 50 because that's what the deposit is. And
Yeah.
You can't go after somebody if they're not paying it, they left.
Right.
So if it was 300, he would be paying 300.
So how does it get to 300? We don't shut it off, or what?
Yeah,
That was just a
they
fictitious
get,
number, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, if it was higher, it would be, we give them 2 months of no payment, and then we do a shut off.
Well, the fee is discrimination. I mean, you guys won't agree with me, so I won't try again right now, but if it is a hint of discrimination, it is, you know? So, I was pretty crabby that day, but I still think it's wrong, so I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Item number 60, Administrator Report. Lance.
All right, since the last meeting, worked with the clerk and mayor to set the agenda and prep the council meeting, attended the EDA and ADC meeting, attended a department head meeting, reviewed the state grant agreement from DEED for the pool project, and worked with city attorney Forsgren to draft the declaration needed, the easements needed for Farmers Elevator for the 24-25 project detour have been completed and recorded. Researched historic city hall usage and the associated contracts. Worked with the condo association to explore new options for insurance. Interviewed a candidate for the open full-time police officer position. Worked with Chief Quaintance on researching the possibility of a SRO position. Worked with Wes Keller of Houston Engineering on the final pay request for the river restoration project and sent in the final reimbursement request to the DNR. Met with my mentor group. Reached out to Jeff Iverson of In Control about the increased cost and the automation and cybersecurity service plan for the water and wastewater controls. Attended a safety committee meeting and discussed the need for an emergency response guide for different emergency situations. Met with Tricorn Audio about the possibility of webcams for the 24-25 project. Worked with Arvig to get a plan for phone and internet at the pool. Met with city engineer Bob Schliemann about the assessments for the 24-25 project and the 2nd Avenue Southeast Drainage Improvement Project. Met with Amy Baldwin and Kevin Curie from Otter Tail County and the city engineer Bob Schliemann about the Pinewood Estates development. And talked with Julie Raymer from Explore Minnesota about the city's agreement with them and Historic City Hall. Any questions?
Questions for Lance?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 17, Mayor Report. Mine is definitely not that long. A few items, my concern, January 16th, attended conversations with area mayors at West Central Initiative in Fergus Falls. That was regarding funding opportunities for projects that the cities have. January 22nd, phone conversation with Annie Nichols, who works for CEDA, who is going to be doing our housing study here in Pelican Rapids starting in April. Met with Administrator Roysum, Chief of Police, and attending a zone meeting of the League of Minnesota IT on law enforcement insurance trust on January 23rd. Met with Olivia Olson. She's a new Minnesota Extension office here in Otter Tail County, and she'll be working with communities within Otter Tail County regarding agriculture and food venues. And then met with Administrator Roysum on January 29th to plan the agenda for this evening's council meeting. Any questions?
Thank you.
Seeing no more business or motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All the same? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah, we're pretty busy. We've had a couple of years now, we've had their snow and ice contract. They send out an inspector every day.
Yeah.
Down in the neighborhoods.
That's a city, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
See